This conference will now be recorded.
This is kind of what I expected to see, a good turnout. Was he got a cooties or something? Yeah. Camera, are these on yet? I went to push the button, but I don't. Okay. All right. Thanks, Cam. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I noticed that in the last meeting. Yeah.
This money as your general election? What's that? You have this many people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably more. It was pretty cool. Here with my name on the ballot for the president as well.
So I'm just gonna do a quick intro. I'm
Sure.
just really just a professional person, and you two how you handle questions. Pass the mic around, and then we just move like that. This goes as long as you guys have time.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Perfect.
All right, good morning, everyone. Right now, Boston, your general manager, we have our first candidate town hall. This is not this is not a district sponsored event. We have the state, we have invites, we have the setup. We're not like the League of Women Voters or anything. We're not moderators. We're not gonna do anything. We really have two professionals here that will manage their discussion with y'all. We'll take questions. We'll pass the mic around. We go as long as you want to be here, as long as they want to sit there. And everything's fair game there. So there's not gonna be a staff or myself monitoring or moderating this. So, I'll open it now. We have a few more coming in. We'll get some seats out. We want to get as much time as possible. So thank you for all coming. Take some time. It's a big, important event. The election is on the 23rd, the morning of the 23rd, 9 through 11. You can still vote. You just come right here. You'll go in the back room there. You'll vote. There's a board meeting going on that same day. Pause. We'll go into a landowner meeting, finish the election, and then come back to a board meeting. But up until then, you have until the day after MLK Day.
20th.
20th, sorry.
Yep.
We'll have until the 20th, the morning of the 20th, to continue to do absentee ballots. We're doing that. 19. Yeah, on the 20th. So the morning of the 20th, we're tying it to the mail delivery, because anyone that mails in an absentee ballot, we'll shut it off. So about 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, we'll shut down all votes, absentee ballot voting. We'll cease that operation, and then the next time you'll be able to vote is on Friday, the 23rd. But you're more than welcome. We're calling it absentee ballots. You can take them home, mail them to you. Most people are coming across the district office, voting on site, putting it in the box, and calling it. Very easy, takes about 1 or 2 minutes. I turn it over to our candidates, sir, gentlemen. All yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Caramana, and I'm running for the board seat as a landowner. I prepared a little something, but I first wanted to indicate that on my flyer that I put on the table here, I was an error. The 22nd is what I had as far as putting out your absentee ballot. If it is the 20th, I apologize. I was misinformed, I believe. But in any event, a little bit about myself. My wife Barbara and I have been married for 53 years. That's quite a while, and she's been supportive of me for all those 53 years and then some. We've been residents here at Sunny Lakes for 6 years. And the reason that we're residents here is because we moved here because of the amenities that they offer. The district offers quite a few amenities. And with those amenities, we felt that our property values were a lot higher here than any other community because of the amenities. A little bit as far as the background of myself, I served in the U.S. Army for 2 years in the Finance Corps. After completing the U.S. Army, I got a college degree in accounting, business administration. And then right after that, I started my own business as a home builder, and I did that for 30 years. Once I decided I had enough of being a home builder, I went ahead and I went to work for a commercial general contractor. And I did that for 15 years. And you know, after a while, you just get tired of working all the time, as probably a lot of our retirees know here. I decided to go ahead and retire, and I retired 9 years ago. In 2023, Barbara and I built our new home on Myrtle Beach. It's actually one of 6 homes that I've built for myself. Hopefully it's the last one, according to my wife. In November of 2024, I ran for a board seat for our district. And the reason I'm running again for this board seat is basically I care about our community. I want to be able to volunteer my time and my efforts for the community. I believe that the community needs a board member that will listen to their concerns. I think it's important that we act responsibly enough to address their concerns during the board meeting and after a board meeting. And as being a retiree, I'm able to dedicate a lot more of my time to the community because of that. As far as my concerns and visions for our community, I feel that public safety is a great concern here. We've got quite a few young families moving into the area. And honestly, our streets, people are just driving much too fast on our streets. And I think that that we need to have more presence from the Highland County Sheriff. Now, if that costs us a little money, I think it's money that's well spent, because the safety of our children are more important than anything else, as far as I'm concerned. Second thing that I'd like to address is affordability. You know, we have assessments, and we need to keep those assessments affordable. With our growing community, things cost a lot more money these days. But I think that, you know, we get the money that's spent on our assessments is used for infrastructure. It's used to support our employees that work for the district, that keep our district actually great. So I feel that that's important, that we maintain our affordability. We need to improve our infrastructure as well. I think that, you know, we've done a good job so far, and we'll continue to do a good job as far as our the swale cleaning out. I mean, obviously people are having problems with flooding and that, and I think that our management has worked on that, and they continue to work on it. We also have improved our street lighting here in the community, which I understand we're going to have more street lights this coming year. We've improved our streets, all the asphalt that I've seen on the new streets and the toppings that they've put on have been fantastic. And I think we need to continue doing that. The other thing that I wanted to say too is I believe that our management team is doing a great job, and I think that we should continue to support their decisions, providing they're responsible decisions, feasible decisions. And lastly, and most importantly, I believe that we need to ask God for wisdom before our meetings. I think it's very important that God is addressed, and if God's addressed, he will bless our community. That's how I feel about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, and thank you to everyone who put this forum together. And thank you to the residents and landowners of Sun and Lake for coming out today. It's always a good sign when people care enough about their community to show up. My name is Stephen Kramer, and I'm running for the Sun and Lake Board of Supervisor because I care about this community, and I believe my experience can be useful to it. I work in public municipal service, and on a daily basis, I deal with things like budgets, infrastructure, stormwater, and maintenance. What it has taught me is simple. Decisions matter. The choices made at the board level affect property values, quality of life, and how well the community functions, sometimes for decades. If elected, I have three main priorities. First is being responsible with your money. Sun and Lake operates on taxpayer dollars, and I believe every expense should be thought thoroughly through, justified, and clearly explained. Spending wisely today helps avoid bigger costs down the road. Second is taking care of what we already have. Roads, drainage, amenities, and facilities don't get better on their own. Proactive maintenance is almost always cheaper and less disruptive than waiting until something fails. Third is communication. People deserve to know what's going on in their district. That means open meetings, clear explanations, and board members who listen before making decisions. Even when people don't agree, they should always feel heard. I'm not running to make headlines or push a personal agenda. I'm running because I believe in steady leadership, common sense, and working together to do what's best for Sun and Lake.
And that sounds like a
I got asked the
politician.
questions many times, why are you running for this seat? I'm running because I care about Sun and Lake, and I think my professional background is a good fit for this role. I work in municipal public service, so I'm used to balancing budgets, planning, infrastructure, and making decisions that affect the public long term. I want to bring that practical experience to the board and help them thoughtful, well-informed decisions for the district. What do I see as the biggest issue facing Sun and Lake? I think the biggest challenge is balancing quality of life with cost. Residents want well-maintained roads, amenities, and services, but they also want their dollars spent wisely. That takes planning, prioritization, and discipline, especially when it comes to maintenance and long-term budgeting. How will I ensure your fiscal responsibility? By asking questions, reviewing the details, and focusing on long-term impacts instead of short-term fixes. I believe in budgeting needs, not wants, and making sure the public understands where money is going and why. Transparency builds trust, and trust is crucial. I get asked, what is your approach to infrastructure and maintenance? My approach is proactive rather than reactive. Deferred maintenance usually costs more in the long run, I'd focus on maintaining what we already have, planning improvements in phases when possible, and making decisions based on data, not urgency created by neglect. I've been asked, how will you listen to residents? By being accessible, paying attention at meetings, and valuing public input. Even when it's critical, listening doesn't always mean agreeing, but it does mean considering different perspectives before decisions are made. I've been asked, how would you work with other board members? And I believe in collaboration and respect. And I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. After watching the last 5-6 months of the meetings going on here, being a resident of Sun and Lake, I feel that we're going in the direction of Avon Park by what's happening, what's transpiring. That's not a good look on our community. Sun and Lake is a respectful, beautiful community, and what's happening at the board meetings, whether it's the board or the public, is simply not a good light for our district. I believe in collaboration and respect. Not everyone has to agree all the time, but everyone should focus on the same goal. What's best for Sun and Lake? I bring a professional, level-headed approach, and I'm comfortable working through differences. I've been asked already, are there any specific projects you support or oppose? I think it's important to evaluate each project on its own merit, cost benefit, timing, and long-term impact. I don't believe in blanket support or opposition. I believe in asking the right questions and making informed decisions. I've been asked, based on the board meetings, how would you handle disagreement or controversy? By staying calm, listening carefully, and focusing on facts, as I do in my professional life. As I've become highly respected in the county of Highlands County and the city of Sebring based on my actions and emotions. I care about the community, and that's understandable. My role would be to help guide discussions towards solutions, not divisions. What makes me different from Mark? My experiences working directly with public infrastructure and budgets. I understand how decisions on paper translate to real-world impacts. I'm not running with a personal agenda. I'm running to apply common sense, professionalism, and accountability. Why should the voters choose you? Because I bring experience, stability, and commitment to doing things the right way. I care about this community. I respect the responsibilities of the position, and we always keep the long-term health of Sun and Lake in mind. I would be honored to serve on the board and would truly appreciate your support and your vote. Thank you for your time this morning.
With that said, does anybody have any questions for us? Yes, sir, Bill. Billy's, Cora's going to give you a microphone.
Sure everybody heard me.
You don't
All
have.
right, my name is Bill Norcross. I'm resident for the last 20-odd years. And what really bothers me is the speeding and the racetrack we call Sun Lake Boulevard. I don't know if you've ever been passed by somebody who's going 65, 70 miles an hour. I have, and I'm tired of it. So on county policing and speed control, Mark mentioned something about policing. Steve had not. He didn't mention anything about policing and their concern. I addressed that issue to both of you and have a response. Thank you.
Can you go?
Sure.
Yep.
Go ahead.
You're right, I did not. I believe that my relationship and the respect that I have in the Highlands County community, I would be able to help out in assisting with the sheriff's office. I do have many contacts with the county, and I believe that through conversation and dialect that we would be able to get some kind of a better appearance within Sun and Lake.
Let me address that as well, Bill. In the past board meetings that we've had, that that subject has been broached. And basically what it amounted to was that our management team approached Highlands County and they asked them if we could get more police presence. And what they were told was that the police presence, if we wanted more security here, would cost us money. I'm not adverse to that. I think that that money would be well spent. If, like you indicated, people are going way too fast or running stop signs here. And like I indicated earlier, we have a lot of small children in the neighborhoods now. And I had the other day, just on Myrtle Beach Drive, a little girl had honestly scared the heck out of me. She was on a little scooter and she ran out into the road right in front of me. And fortunately, and I know some people are against speed bumps here, but fortunately, I had approached the speed bump and made me slow down. I don't go fast, 25 miles an hour at the most. But because of that, we were able to prevent an accident from happening. With police presence, I think that we would find more people here slowing down in our community. And I think that's important. Thank you.
Can I follow up on that?
Of course.
All right, in the past, county has charged Sun Lake per hour type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've given the county millions of dollars, average probably now $6 million. And I tell you what, it's very disturbing, and we have to pay an hourly fee to have a police officer, and they live here. And what really bothers me, can we resolve that somehow and get these people, these police officers on the street and stopping these people? I really appreciate it. Please respond. Thank you.
I feel that that as a board member, I think we should have representation at Highlands County when they have their board meetings. And I think that that subject should be brought up with them.
Both of you be committed to.
Absolutely.
solve this problem.
Yes, sir.
I would. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
It's one of my pet peeves that I have here.
Gentlemen, if I
Thank
could
you.
interrupt for just a second. So the reason that we're passing the microphone around is because we're live online for people who are, I'm sorry, Cameron, your director of IT here at Sounded Lake. We have people who are online watching this meeting live as well. And I want to make sure that they hear the questions that you're asking. So when they get the answers from our candidates, they get a full picture. This will also be available on the website like our board meetings are after the fact. So if you have a question, if you could just raise a hand, I'll have Coral come around with a microphone for you. And if you just wait, that way I can make sure that that information is getting out and that they're getting the same experience that you guys are, okay? Thank you. Give me 1 second.
My name's Thomas Price. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse about this speeding, but on Matanzas Drive about 2 months ago, right in front of my house, a lawnmower company was set up,
Mhm.
and a car hit the brand new lawnmower, knocked it all the way into the yard, and kept on going.
Hit
It's
and run.
ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, they didn't stop and ruin the guy's brand new lawnmower. He just bought it. That's one thing that I want to know. What, of course, you're already answering that, but I just want to show you how bad it is.
Mhm.
And two, I want to ask you, what can we do, or what would you do to solve some of these problems that they're having at our amenities? You know, like our basketball courts and all. My son was up there the other day when this huge fight started, and he thank God he got on the scooter and went home. But it's ridiculous, you know. What can we do to stop some of that? Because I don't think a lot of them are from here, from Sun Lakes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't think there are residents. Some of them, you know. What would you do to try to solve them problems?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, again, going back to police presence, that would help out a lot. Perhaps too, that as a consideration, in a lot of the city school basketball courts, they have fencing around their courts. We may have to get somebody involved as far as overseeing the use of the courts. And if there's any issues that are that develop, then obviously we would probably need to have somebody that would be accountable to go ahead and intercede and what's happening, the dispute that's happening. Uh, That's a tough one because right now it's an open court and we've got everybody that wants to play from the community and outside of the community, they're going in to play. And like we do for our tennis courts, we have admission where you have to be a member to be able to enter it. Perhaps we need to do that as well. Hmm. Right. No, I can appreciate that.
I think you have a very valid point. Again, this goes back to my experience on a day-to-day basis in the city. We have many parks, many playgrounds, pickleball courts. So the approach that we have taken, and we have a police force. All of our facilities have cameras from the Circle, Veterans Beach, wherever you go when they're in the city where there's a playground or people are congregating, there are cameras. Since that has happened, our rates have gone down tremendously. We've even gotten to the point on the Circle where we're catching kids and they're doing community service within my department. So they're doing 40 hours of blood, sweat, and tears out with the guys in the field. Police, you're correct, is a big issue. Their presence does help. And I think by having my ability to connect with the county and the powers to be, I think we can resolve some of those issues.
Hi, Steve. I missed, how long have you lived here in the Sun Lake?
Tell you a funny story. Moved here about 3 years ago. Bought a place down by Lake Josephine. My wife at the time was working for the district. Came up for a trivia night. So we sat at trivia night. After that trivia night, I said to her, call the realtor. I want to live in this community. I think the amenities they have are great. I love the atmosphere. So we made the move.
And how long have you worked for the county?
3 years I've been with the city.
And you've spoken numerous times today about your connections with the county and how you feel that can be an advantage to you.
Yep.
And I'm just curious, out of the last 3 years that you've lived here, how many times have you tried to use that advantage to get more police presence in the neighborhood and those types of things? Since
With
you
the
have
city,
that
I have not.
advantage?
But the people that I do deal with on the county level are connected to those people that I can talk to.
But you haven't tried to do that.
Not at this
You
point.
haven't
No, I have
noticed
not.
that there were problems and
No.
maybe thought, let me go try to see what I can do.
No, because I'm not an elected official nor a representative of Sun Lake.
Okay.
But you're a community member.
You're right.
If I had that opportunity, I would be at it all the time.
And have you?
No, because I
Okay.
haven't had that opportunity. I don't work for the county.
Everybody has an opportunity to talk to somebody at the county. We have a representative, Scott Kuriak, correct?
The advantage you have though is you work for them. Any other questions?
Hi, gentlemen. My name is John Kern. I'm a brand new resident. And I have a question for Mr. Kramer. Mr. Kramer, do you still work at the county?
I still work for the city of Sebring, yes.
You work for the city of Sebring?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there's no conflict of interest with you being on the board here?
No, sir.
Okay,
As a matter of fact, your board, your managing director got appointed to a board on the city of Sebring last night.
thank you very much. I also have another question, if I could. Being a brand new resident, I just bought land here back about a year ago. I'm currently building a house. From the time I bought my land till now, the street that I drive down, which is San Bruno Drive, has changed immensely. There is a lot of construction debris. There's a lot of construction activity. Seems to be a lot of contractors that don't have a standard set of rules or guidance when it comes to how to treat an area or people while they're working. has anybody else noticed this? I was wondering. And if so, can something be done about this? There's some dumpsters are tucked away, some are on the street. There's construction debris on lawns. There's signs that are knocked down. There's, you know, like I said, as a new resident, I'm anxious to bring people up here and show people where I'm building a house, and it's gotten to be.
I ran into the same problem that you had on Columbus Boulevard, and I reached out to code enforcement. There was a new construction being built, a dumpster with stuff all over the place. And to code enforcement's credit, they were there within a day, had it cleaned up and the dumpster put on site. So I believe what the district has in place now with code enforcement should address that issue if you present it to them. It worked for me.
I agree with Steve, and Vaz has made that point a number of times during our board meetings, and that if you reach out to them, they're going to handle it for you. Code enforcement, all you have to do is give them a call and tell them your concerns. If you have any other concerns as far as management of the district, Vaz will approach that as well. So, and by the way, welcome to the neighborhood.
Yes.
Dave Cook. I've lived in Sun Lake for 7 years. I'll address one of the elephants in the room. We moved here for the amenities, one of them being the two 18-hole golf courses. Okay. In the past few years, we've seen a lot of discord on the board between non-golfers and golfers that are on the board that didn't look well and cause concern.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mark's a golfer. I play with him. How do you feel about the golf course and maintaining it?
I'm all about amenities for the people that live here. Right? I mean, you pay tax dollars, and amenity is a privilege that you should have based on what you pay.
Oh, that's a broad statement. My question is, when it comes to funding, there was resistance over funding. Are you willing to support funding whatever it takes to maintain?
I'm open to any discussions about proposals for any type of improvements to any of the recreational facilities.
Okay.
I think to add to that, people need to understand that our assessments are not spent on our amenities. Our assessments are spent on salaries for the district employees, for infrastructure to improve our facilities. But the golf course and the restaurant are self-sufficient. And the income that they earn from that is what they expend as well. So I think it's important that we know that before we move ahead as far as the condition of the greens or whatever the case may be.
Okay, who on that is the board in charge of? We have Trude managing right now, and there are people that are golfers that are unhappy with the way Trude has managed it. And we put $650,000 in the greens on Deer. They look as bad as they did before they did them at times. Now we're resorting to patching with giant patches of grass that we grow, trying to fix what we paid $650,000 to not have happen.
I don't disagree, Dave. I'm a golfer myself, as you all know. In the past, I think 2 board meetings prior, the board had asked our district manager to go ahead and do a feasibility study to find out if it was worth having Troon as our management company versus the district managing it. Honestly, until that feasibility study comes forward, it's very difficult to address that. If it's going to be something that's going to cost our district a lot more money, then we need to probably reconsider that and renegotiate with Troon to see if we can get better representation.
Because in the past, we had Billy Casper golf before we received Troon. They control some of our management that takes care of the golf course.
All right. No,
Let me just add a little something to that. Sure, a lot of you, I play golf. I don't have a membership. I just don't have the time to have a membership. I mean, I shouldn't say time, but it's not cost effective for me to have a membership. I do have, and a lot of people don't know this, but my son is very respected in the industry. He recently was the superintendent of Congressional Country Club. He has served PGA events, USGA events. So I do have somebody with knowledge, and he has been down here. So with not being an expert on growing grass, that's what I call him. He went to school to grow grass, but it's been a successful career path for him. And I rely on his expertise on a daily basis when it comes to the golf course. When I'm out there playing, I take pictures, I send them to him. He tells me what's wrong here, what's wrong there, what could be done to do this. So when it comes to the golf course side of things, I do have interest because number one, that provides my son's livelihood. And number two, he's an expert in the industry, so I believe what he tells me.
They told us how USGA came in last spring and they told us how great we were on track and everything. And since then, the greens have deteriorated. Someone was wrong, honestly.
I did send him that report, by the way, as well. Yep.
Disagree at all.
Thank you.
Good morning, Pam Grinnell. I'm a resident on Angelo Circle.
Mhm.
And if you've been down our street, you see a house that's been under construction now for about 3 years. We obviously have other examples of houses next to the elementary school, and I'm sure on various streets, houses that become very neglected with a very extended, with no end in sight construction. Myself, but more importantly, other members on our street have approached the preserve, have approached the district, have approached the county. And it seems that the structure of permits are unending, and there is not an effective solution to hold builders accountable to a reasonable time frame to finish a home. It does affect the value within your community, within your street. And it's a very negative, as has been mentioned with other situations of people coming in to our community. So what actions would you take to make this a priority, that builders are not allowed over these multi 3-4 year periods to leave houses in partial construction on streets in our district?
I can't believe that there's not a timeline on a permit. I would have to verify that with Mr. Bossert.
There is a timeline,
Is there?
actually, that there's they have a year to go ahead and complete a home. And once that year expires, if their house is not finished, then they can go ahead and apply for an extension on the permit, which I don't disagree with. What I do disagree with the fact is that we're not penalizing these builders. For them to pay a nominal fee to re-up their permit is just not right. As a former builder myself, it should not take a year. I just built my home. It took us 7 months to build it. And that was with the dedication that we put into it. But I think that the district needs to start putting penalties and interest actually on these builders that are taking such a long time to build a house. It's just not right. So that's how I feel about it.
My name is Ann Bastis, and I'm a resident of Angelo Circle with my neighbor. And that home that we are talking about, 2 homes that we're talking about, one of them, which is 3 years, is actually 4 years, and the other home is 6 years. Now, there may be a way that the home builders, construction companies may be able to fall into that permit area, but this is an independent person, and there appears, and I've spoken to Mr. Kuriak personally about this, and there really isn't anything he can do, because he does wait until the very last moment when all of his fines are ready to be paid, which he does pay, and gets his permit again, and then there's nothing. That home has been sitting there for 4 years, 3 of which went through hurricanes, and wood that was put up that was bowed and had mold on it. And it was a site that we've had to put up with for 4 years.
And it's not fair.
No, it isn't.
Actually, it's not.
Totally agree.
And that's why I say that we need to start penalizing these builders, these individuals as well. then we should make a stiffer penalty on. I honestly, yes.
Another option that I would want to make sure we looked at is builders being required to put up a bond of a significant value to ensure if they don't finish the home, then there are funds there available that then action can be taken. But
That's a
we
wonderful idea.
definitely
Great
do
idea.
not have the rules, nor the fines, nor the structure to prevent this from happening.
I agree. And I think that's a great idea, Pam.
Absolutely.
Hi, welcome to both of you. My name is Kim Ledoux and I'm the president of Manor Hill HOA.
Yes, Kim.
And I just wanted to say there are several HOAs here in our district. And I wanted to know, first, are you aware of them? Two, how could you see moving forward how we could all communicate together and have some consistency across the boards? Because that doesn't occur at this point. And a lot of the issues that are being brought up, I'm dealing with on an individual basis. I think we're probably the oldest HOA in Sun and Lake, and we do have a lot of restrictions, rules, and so forth. And we, as far as this homeowner build, we have increased our fine so that a builder has to pay a larger fine now if they're not completing their build within 6 months. But I guess I just want to hear your thoughts about HOAs and how we can work together.
I don't see any reason why the HOAs can't get together, Kim. It's not only the presidents of the HOA, but other people that are involved in the committees that you have. Should be no reason why that can't happen, so that they can go ahead and uniformly put their constitution or the policy manual together so that they're all are equal. And this way people know what they're expected of when they move into a community. Right? So personally, I would rather see the HOA boards get together and kind of iron things out and go that route.
So what kind of, I'm going to ask you a question. What kind of representation do you present to the council now? Is there anybody from council that comes to your meetings? Is there anybody?
I was so interested in that answer. At this point, it's really ad lib. We ask as we go and it's a one-way communication at this point. I've been able to ask certain people. Boz has come to our meeting, which we're grateful for. Haven't had any interest from any of the board members ever to meet me or to ask to come to our meetings. I'm totally open to that and would love to have that representation there as well so that you can hear our issues, ideas, and so forth. So again, it's what do we want to do moving forward together? I hear what you're saying, but it's kind of a general statement. I'd like to have moving, not today, but moving forward, a plan to pull these HOAs together in some shape or form. Not sure they all need to be the same exactly. I think that's a good discussion, but how do we all start?
It probably would be worth it too, Kim, to go ahead and invite the board members to your meetings as well. Do you keep minutes of your meetings and do you record them all? Okay, that's important as well, especially with the new statutes that the Florida has. Okay, good.
I owned an in-unit, before you get the Villa, had a backyard basement. Every pickleball ball that's hit, every word that's said on the basketball court, I could hear it from back to the nut. And made a suggestion back to me, getting ready to move the playground over to where it was. About the basketball. I felt like just sitting out there every evening. You get these older kids that come in, I think the majority of them come from the outside, like someone else already talked about. I suggested that when they
They take it out, put a half court down where the pickleball courts are. That's gated. When someone comes in with their grandson and granddaughter and some kids, they have to have the ability to get in, of course. And then they would, it would stop kids coming in. Not a full court. You're not going to have all the argument and the bigger kids coming into play. And back to the point where this gentleman was talking about another subject about these outside vendors that come in and know the properties. All this happened years ago. There's no place for them to park. In all fairness to them, there's no sidewalk for people to walk some of these streets. As a community back in the day, I felt like we failed on that. That's happened. I think going forward, I've been here since 2012. In the last few years, I feel like things are in the right direction, and we're excited about it. We're now finally retired. We're down here. Couldn't be any happier the way things are going, except maybe the golf course. I think that's being looked into, so I'm happy about that as well. But I feel like these anybody that comes in outside vendor, we're going to park on the road. Causes the oncoming traffic to go around them in the other lane. They should at least be required to have their flashers. It's something simple. You don't need a bunch of orange cones, which wouldn't be a bad idea either. But sometimes, even just driving the road, driving your car, whatever, or your golf cart, all of a sudden you look up, it's right there. So I think they should be required at least during the flashing. I was told the reason why they were back to the basketball court, around. They said they were going to put security cameras on the basketball court. That would be able to help out. Well, this last fight broke out. I wasn't there. All I've seen was on social media. I had talked to a few people. My question is, these security cameras, will the security guards show up at the basketball court in this house? Again, I wasn't there, saw everything I've read on social media, how bad it was, but I'm wondering if security did show up. I feel like it's not too late. I still think the best solution is to have a half court, one basket over there. When someone shows up, they have to show their card. And the reason why they have to have a card is because it's just like being at YMCA when you were younger as a kid. You go in and show your card, go to the back door, and let all your friends in. That's not happening. But you can at least control it in that environment. And unfortunately, you shouldn't have to do that. But we are where we are, and something bad is going to happen. It's tough. But anyway, I want to make it clear. We enjoy Sun Lakes. There's no place else you can be in the state of Florida and pay what we pay in the state. Thank you.
I think we would all agree with that, sir.
On that point of letting everybody in, what we did where I work, they put a turnstile in. One person at a time, here's the turnstile. You get your bag back to the bag and report. Let two people in on your bag. Person going in first. So you have 6 people coming through a gate.
Good idea.
Yep.
Hi, nice to meet you both. Jenny Cecil, resident. I just have a question for you, Steve. You mentioned that you work full-time. Is that 40 hours, I'm assuming?
That's correct.
And you mentioned your
I
family.
work more than 40, but go ahead.
Well, okay. So do you have capacity for this role with your job and your family?
I do. I have talking to the city administrator with the city of Sebring. I have lots of vacation time that I don't get to use. So I will be utilizing vacation time / personal time. And as far as family time, it's just me and my wife. So, and she's full on board with what we got going on.
If I could add to that as well, and I don't want to be negative about this, but I think that just taking time off our board meeting is not adequate. I think that you need to spend more time in the community doing what you can to help out versus just showing up for a board meeting.
And it would be more than just the board meeting. That's just, I have lots of available time to do what I need to do to represent the residents.
That's the important thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Thomas Price again. I'm on Matanzas. I've lived here 11 years. I'm not trying to contradict what he said, but that half court, that's like taking 9 holes off your golf, that wouldn't, nobody wants to play that. They want to play a whole game. So, um, and go to the accident, the car was doing probably 50, he hit that and it was parked just like they park, and it was parked right behind it. And like I said, he hit it so hard, it landed in the middle of the yard. So flashers, that wouldn't have done, none of that would have done nothing. We got to slow these people down. Or you
Exactly,
got to
Thomas.
slow them down.
We need to make sure that our citizens and the people that are in our community slow down when they're driving. And Mike, just to address your concern, as far as a half court, I'm really not in favor of something like that. I understand where you're coming from, but I think it would be more to our benefit to fence off the basketball court that we have and then do what Mr. Cook had indicated, put up some sort of entry where only one person could get in at a time with a pass. And these people that are using the court should be purchasing a day pass or a membership, whatever it takes to enter the facility. Okay.
Hi, Steve. My name's Brian Gross, 4900 Pebble Beach Drive. A little bit earlier, you had addressed a concern about whether there would be a conflict of interest based on your role and then becoming a board member. So my question is, if you could describe your wife's current role and how you would address any concerns about her role with what she does and your role in becoming a board member.
Sure. My wife has reached out to the county attorney and she has an opinion that there would be no conflict.
Can you describe what your wife does currently?
She's the planning and zoning manager for the Highlands County.
Okay, and part of her role is to do what?
Planning and zoning.
Does she issue building permits?
She does not. So yeah, there has been an opinion from the county solicitor that she has there's no ethics issues there. As far as I'm concerned, and my city administrator is concerned, there are no ethic issues there. I have written a letter to the Ethics Commission asking for a clarification, but the city of Sebring does not have any interlocal agreements with Sun and Lake District. So I don't have the authority to make any decisions on anything related to Sebring or Sun and Lake. We have no agreements. There's nothing on the books. We have no sewer, water, trash. So I have no conflict of interest or would be voting on something pertaining to the city of Sebring.
I think what Mr. Gross is trying to get at here is if your wife works for the zoning department for the Highlands County and she oversees the zoning here in our community, could it be persuasive on her part to?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I understand that the Florida Ethics Committee is also looking into this and we're waiting for a decision on that as well, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
My name is Carol Burt and I'm on Brett Circle. And I just have a comment. My comment is that someone that's had an accounting experience and also had their own business for multiple years is every bit as good as managing budgets and understanding financial affairs as somebody that works in public in government.
Thank you, Carol. I couldn't agree more. Owning my own business for 30 years and then working for a general contractor for 15 years, it gives me a good standing. And
You have a lot more at stake.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, I do.
state your name, please.
My name's Ed Hummel. I live on Renters Row, known as Granada Boulevard. That is its own speed zone, okay? Also talk about age of homeowners association. When our triplex was built, it was built with a homeowners association. And until I quit as president this past year, it operated since 1989, 30 years. But it was difficult to get Sun and Lakes to acknowledge it because it was not Manor Hill and only 3 units, but lawfully registered with the state of Florida as a homeowners association. What and Boz is back there, I've tangled with Boz a number of times, okay? And Boz has most recently put me in my place by reminding me that Sun and Lakes is part of Highlands County. So when I hear about the amenities and what Highlands County, Sun and Lakes is this and Sun and Lakes is that, what Boz has told me is Sun and Lakes can do only what Sun and Lakes can do because it's part of Highlands County. That's the government. Sun and Lakes is a separate district, and it is what it is. So you pay for your amenities, you pay your Highlands County taxes, but the real government is Highlands County. When I complained about drugs being sold across the street of my house, I was told, don't ask Sun and Lakes, ask Highlands County. That's where the cops are, not where the security is. So, to me, my point is on this is that you have your amenities. When I leave here, I'll use my free membership I will use my free membership at the gym, okay? I will make use of it. But that's the amenity, okay, that Sun and Lakes provides. But the real government is Highlands County. And I don't see that. It's, as Boz told me, there's no law enforcement. And when you read on the website for Sun and Lakes, it specifically spells out what security does. And he told me it's not a cop. I'm getting the 3 or 4 things security does. They're not cops. So that's just my whole thing is the amenities is one thing that you pay for, but a lot of things being wanted is really less, and Boz says he's not part of this today, but is really not Sun and Lakes responsibilities. It's Highlands County's government. That's where I'll leave my little thought on this. And for me, you talk criminal justice. I'm a 20-year retired probation and parole officer, state of Florida, Highlands, Hardy, Okeechobee County. So when you talk about your law enforcement, that's right up my alley. And 35 years in Highlands County. and 55 years in Florida.
Excuse
6
me.
years in,
Excuse
6
me,
years
Ed.
in Sun and Lakes.
With your background, you of all people should know that if you have an issue with the drug trafficking in your community, call the police. Do not call the security people. Call the police.
That's
Let them
correct.
know about
I
that.
approached the board. In fact, I confronted the board, okay? And the board basically said it's not our business, okay? Then I confronted the Highlands County Sheriff's Department in person.
Mhm.
And what I got was a 2-minute telephone call from the Highlands County Sheriff's Department. Don't be surprised. This is the quote. Don't be surprised if you see unmarked cars riding up and down your street.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but how would I know?
No, that would be great because now they can go ahead and enforce the law if they see something that's out of hand. I'm
Well,
not
that's
in law
correct.
enforcement.
But the thing is, when you wanted your traffic control,
Mhm.
which they were on Granada, all they did was stopped everybody, gave them warnings, and never ticketed anybody.
Mhm.
So all the warnings in the world never slowed up the traffic.
Yeah.
They have to actually go out and ticket somebody.
You're paying taxes to Highlands County. There should be no reason why you can't stay on top of them and make sure that you get police presence out there.
Yeah, well, that's as a retired
I
state employee.
I just don't think that it's a district's responsibility to police the drug trafficking that's going on here.
And you're correct. That's what my started this off. A lot of what is being asked, I don't believe falls as I believe, and Boz can correct me. A lot of what is being asked doesn't fall under the district. Okay? That's what I was told. No, thank you.
Hello, Jill Tiger, resident for 10 years. Just piggybacking off, he mentioned sidewalks not being on every street. My kids are grown now, well, out of the middle school, but we do live over in that area where they did have to walk or ride their bike to Hill Gustat. It's very unsafe. My kids have been pushed off the road by speeding cars. I know speed bumps have been put in, but people don't. I mean, they don't slow down for them most of the time. I mean, I'll even admit I probably do 20 over them at least. So they don't really affect much. I have one right in front of my house as well. But I think that may be a concern that we should look into as a priority for the kids that do have to walk or ride their bicycles to school. And it may even help with the traffic in the afternoons if everybody's been through that intersection there by the retention ponds in the afternoon. Parents might feel safer for their kids to walk home than having to get in that long pickup line and cause all that traffic there. And another thing, I don't know if it's a possibility, but to have communication with the school board and maybe hiring a crossing guard for that intersection, since there is a school zone on the road there before that intersection in Sun and Lake, that maybe they could hire somebody there to help with that, because there are a lot of people that run through those stop signs during school zones and not during school zones.
Yeah, the crossing guard aspect would be a conversation with the Highlands County Sheriff's Office. They handle the crossing guards, which is not an issue to have. As far as the sidewalks go, I agree. I live on Columbus Boulevard, and the sidewalk only goes up to the entrance to T1 and 10. That's it. But they're building more and more as it goes out. Actually, behind us is a whole new development with no sidewalks. So I'm definitely on board with sidewalks.
I agree, Jill. I think my wife and I walk quite a bit, and we're having to walk in the road all the time. And honestly, people, again, they drive way too fast, and we have to jump over onto people's lawns to be avoided getting hit. I think as far as a crossing guard, you should probably attend a board meeting and express your opinions on that and let the board get with district management to see if we can do something about that as well. Thank you.
Kim Gross, one last question. I just want to clarify this potential conflict of interest, Steve's potential conflict of interest. It's my understanding that our district attorney has looked at this information. She has forwarded it to the Department of Ethics Commission at the state level. We do not have a answer from them, from what I understand. So my question for you, Steve, is if that information comes back that there is a conflict of interest, will you continue running or will you drop out of this race?
I will drop out. Now, I did see the letter that was forwarded to me from the district solicitor. In her writings, she did not state that it was unethical. She just suggested that I talk to the city attorney, which I did not, because this is a personal issue and taxpayers shouldn't be paying for a question on about me for something personally. So I did write a letter to the Ethics Commission. I did forward that letter to the district manager. I'm not aware of this solicitor sending a letter. That's news to me, but I was the one that wrote the letter, forwarded it to the district manager and to the Ethics Commission. So I'm waiting. They're aware that it's a time sensitive issue. So I've also reached out to my state representative to get the fastest resolution as possible.
Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Bill.
And just on a side note to that, I did include my wife's occupation in that letter to the Ethics Commission as well.
I have a question. Got about an hour? Seriously, it's nice to see all you people out here and
absolutely
in a community effort. It's impressive to me. All right, the gentleman back there was complaining about the county. The problem I have with the county is that we are an independent
district.
And when that COVID money was distributed, which is really burning me still, it's not on?
No, it's on, but you got to put it closer to your mouth, Bill. You have a deep voice, but people in the audience that are watching the video.
I don't hear anybody in here. All right, is this okay? Oh, closer, all right.
Billy, it's an ice cream cone.
It's nice to see you again, all right.
Ice cream cone.
All right, so the problem I have with Highlands County, when they distributed the COVID money, it was $18 million. They couldn't spend enough of it. They were doing everything, building fences, what they got to do with COVID, nothing, I don't know. But my question to you, if this ever comes up again, we have to take a look at the unfair distribution of grant money and money that goes to the county that we don't get. And it's infuriating, it really is, because we had to lay off people in Sun Lake because we didn't get any covert money. I don't think you got laid off or anybody else did, but it's a question I'd like to have you just discuss a little bit. Thank you very much.
Let me just add that, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the county did submit a grant, give the Sun and Lake a grant for $250,000 for sidewalks. I understand. What did the district get? I wasn't here during COVID. They got zero?
Zero. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I apologize. That's just bad business.
As far as I'm concerned, the board should be involved in it, but I think we have a great district manager here. We have great management team. That's something that needs to be broached with the county by our district manager. I think that that's important, that we need to stay on top of that. And if we have to get legal involved in it, then we should do that as well. We pay for an attorney here for our district. So
What was Scott Carriac's response? He's the county representative for Sun and Lake. What was his response to the COVID, not getting any COVID money? Did anybody talk to him? Did anybody push those buttons?
Really wasn't emphatic enough, so because that COVID money belongs to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's a general distribution.
Correct.
And it's not right, just the county gets it and we don't share it.
Yeah, I feel your frustration with that, because that was just, that's bad business.
I think that the issue we're having here is the county works pretty slow when it comes to our benefit. Nothing against Mr. Kuriak, but when he comes in for our board meetings, he's in and out like a bad storm. I think that we need to spend more time putting him to the fire and making sure that issues are resolved through him. That's how I feel. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, Mark.
Yes. I appreciate both of you guys coming here this evening, or today, I should say. Mark Camp, resident. This question is actually for Steve, and it's kind of a follow-up to something that happened earlier. You said that you felt that you could balance your work schedule with being on the Board of Supervisors and have the ability to interact with this community to fulfill some of their needs, or at least assist them in their needs. My question is, with your busy schedule, how have you attended these meetings, or where's your source of information from these meetings?
I watched the videos.
Okay, so you watch the videos. That brings me back to a question or a point that you made earlier about not going in the direction of Avon Park. Were you referring to that as because of what was in the Highlands News Sun and what's going on in Sun and Lakes? Because I would agree with you that it's not a good direction, first of all.
I did not read that article. I don't get the newspaper. I try to stay away from social media. Unfortunately, this has brought me out into social media. I'm not a big social media person because I believe face-to-face conversation is much better than being a keyboard warrior.
If I can add to that, Mark, I've attended quite a few meetings, board meetings, and I find it that I get up quite often and I speak before the board. And I think it's important that we have that interaction at a physical board meeting rather than just watching it on a video.
And I would agree. And I don't think you get the full dynamics of what's happening on a video. There are times, certainly I don't have the ability to be here in the meeting, but I try to attend most of the meetings. And I'm going back to, once again, the interaction with the board over the course of 3 meetings. And how would you have handled it? You were on the board. Let's say you're on the board. I'm going to put you on the board. How would you have handled that situation to calm everything down as a board member, not as the president of the board, but as a board member? How would you do that?
Number one, when this initially all kicked off, the temperature in the room was already boiling, right? People were already upset. People were already making accusations, et cetera, et cetera. I think when you sit down and you're in a position of leadership, you need to, number one, be composed, contain your emotions, whether you think you're right or wrong, and to treat the other people that are at the dais with you or sitting aside of you with respect, whether you agree with them or not. A great example of that was yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys watched Highlands County's meeting. Mr. Carriac and the gentleman that was the president. Anyway, oh no, Roberts. They had a disagreement on $100,000 of which account should pay for what. I give kudos to those two gentlemen. They should make a video of that and send it out to every municipality in Florida on how to handle a composed argument. You know, one guy was very strong about one thing, one guy was very strong about the other, but at the end of the day, they negotiated between each other as with respect, right? That's the common word. And anything in society today is respect. A lot of problems we have with these kids today, lack of respect, right? When I grew up, the issues with the playgrounds and that, they never happened. That never got to that point because we knew what would happen when we got home. When you're sitting up here in this position, just like, you know, everybody keeps bringing about what I do with the city. In that position, I have to be composed, respectful, whether I agree with the citizen or not. I have to listen to them, take their input, eat that information, and then present how I feel it should be taken care of in a professional manner. Now, the last 3 or 4 meetings, I haven't seen the professionalism from anybody. It's just, it's sad to watch. And I just think that by having somebody that has that experience of being able to handle situations like that involving the government and issues with partaking to, you know, whatever accusations are made or whatever, and being able to be the, I'll call it, the arbitrator in the whole situation and get the temperature in the room down so that the people can discuss it legitimately, composed, and then come up with a resolution, right? Based on what I've seen, I don't think there's a resolution yet, right? What do we need to do to get this resolved, right? Is it the direction that A group wants to take? Is it the direction B group wants to take? I don't know. We need to come to a common ground and move forward, right? It goes back to the thing about harping on at meetings about, and no disrespect to golf, but I hear golf, right? Let's move on. You know, find a resolution. Same thing with the tax thing that the district is suing the county for, right? Where are we at with the resolution on how we're going to move forward? We don't have one. We're still fighting in court, spending district money instead of sitting down, having a conversation. How do we get this fixed? All right. If we're wrong, we're wrong. If we're right, hey, kudos. But how do we get this fixed moving forward? Have we done that yet? I haven't seen it in the meetings. I don't know. But we're spending a lot of money on attorneys for something that 2 intelligent people should be able to sit down at a table, have a conversation about, and figure out how do we move forward in a positive direction.
It's my understanding,
Never look
Steve,
back, right?
it's my understanding that we have had that conversation with the county as far as the 250,000. And we're being stonewalled. If I'm not mistaken, this is what I heard from our district manager during one of our meetings. As far as the last few meetings that we had where our citizens and our board have been out of control, we need to have leadership that's going to go ahead and take control. And that didn't happen. And I think that if it did happen, the situation would have calmed down immensely. So I think that leadership has a lot to do with it.
Thank you. I appreciate both the answers from you guys. Just as a quick follow-up then to that, actually, never mind. I'm going to just hold off on it because I don't want to start a firestorm here right now. Thank you.
Next week.
For sure. You know, I have to add something too. As a community, we should all be involved in the community, not just the people running for the board. If you see something that has to be taken care of, get involved. Go ahead and apply yourself. This lady right here in the second row, I see her out here all the time picking up trash. There's no reason why we can't do that as well. I drive down the road and I stop and I pick up beer cans that are on the side of the road, liquor bottles, and it's just uncalled for in our district. So I would just say that we all should get involved with our district and try to help out as much as we can. Offer your services. We have a meeting coming up for our 250th anniversary. And we have who is it, Deb, that's involved in it? Kim, right? Kim, you're heading up the meeting for.
It's a district meeting. It's a district meeting, and it will happen. Anybody remember the date? Is it the 14th? At 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Boz is hosting it, but if you want to get involved in the Sun and Lake celebration for the 250th birthday
There
of
you go.
America, the district is planning a fabulous day. And so we need citizens involved. We'd love to have you attend, maybe get in touch with Boz or Coral and see if you want to participate. All volunteers are welcome.
There you go. Thank you, Kim. But again, it's just a matter of volunteering for whatever you can do. The last hurricane that we had, where we had a bunch of trees come down and branches all over the place, we put together a team of about 30 people and went out and just picked up branches to clean up the neighborhood. Those are things that all can be done by everybody. So, thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Hi, my name is Barbara Carmona. My husband Mark is running for the open board seat. Nice to meet you. I just want to say he is, well, fully retired, and he could offer his services 24/7. However, he has to sleep. So other than that, he is available. He is committed. I thought when we retired, that was it for his job, but he is so involved with the community. He truly, truly is, and he cares about it. And he cares about every single person here. We discussed all of this stuff, and no one's going to be limited as to, we're going to take care of you, but not you. This is an integral part of a community, and we all work together. And when we all work together, it works so much better. He has many visions, goals for the community, and I give him my full support. And I also ask for your support based on what you've heard. And for those of you who know Mark, he is dedicated and committed. He truly, truly is. That's it.
This is why we've been married for 53 years, because she has my full support. Thank you, dear.
We're going to do another one of these next Wednesday at 6 p.m., same place. That's the same group or different group. I want to thank you two for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend. Thank you all for coming. I captured, not involved, but trust me, your words were captured. Because a lot of those I don't even answer on. And I owe the board answers on some of them that are hard left. And I'll make sure that you guys get debriefed on where we stand. So many questions. You bet. The biggest one, if you want to take your time while you're here, the incident on Sunday, yes, yeah, again, 527, we had an incident where a lady came out of the parking lot, ran to her boyfriend playing. The other gentleman did not like that, and they did rough the guy up. He was pushed to the ground. Then that boy left. And this whole time, more people took time to post on social media, calling security, calling the pool attendant that was sitting right there. It happened within about a minute and a half. Incident happened and got de-escalated by the people on the courts. But I would ask, if you see anything like that, call the people. Security did show up. Nothing happened. Everything was gone by then. A minute and a half later. The pool attendant, when I called on the radio, because I watched the social media pages, and at the house, my wife says, hey, looks like there's a fight at your courts. Immediately pick up a radio, call security, security goes, and it's there. And they say, Bob, no one's here. Talk to the people at the playground. So we are very responsive to that, and we'll bring down the hammer very quickly. We called the sheriff responded, talked to people in the area. So we take that very seriously around. That's anything. So, and the rest, I'll capture some notes that we'll send out on the other incidents. So thank you for your time. Thank you, gentlemen. And next, yes, ma'am.
I've been in Sun and Lake for 21 years. For some reason, the back of my mind wants to say, at one time we talked about putting a fence around the basketball court. And I want to say they said that we built that with county grant money, and therefore it cannot be close in for Sun Lake residents only. So somebody needs to verify. Somebody posted that on
Yeah.
social media and I was curious about that.
For the benefit of the group, the county did give us a grant for the playground. A grant. Because they gave us a grant, that has to be open access. The basketball court, different story. Basketball court, we could enclose, board directs me to close it, we can close it tomorrow. And then we can do that. So there are, when we go down the road and you take in federal, state, or county grant money, there are some stipulations for access. We're gonna have that for trails and so on and so forth. And we take that, we live by a letter of law on that. But on that one, basketball court is just asphalt on the ground, it's built, it's done. We couldn't close it. We would just put it, take it off the register with the county, we can proposition the county. And even our playground, we can proposition the county, say, we want to enclose it, we want to make it accessible by just controlled access, and then they would stop giving us any money. So it could hinder us in the future. Not go down that. That's all I got. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep, thank you.
Have a great day.
Mark, thank you.
Thank you, Boz. Appreciate it. All right, Steve. Good meeting.